that goes on in the upper atmosphere, and in the longer term, how that will affect climate. And that will help us to understand as we go forward trying to figure out what to do about climate change, but better predict it and make better decisions.
How does the interaction between the upper troposphere and the lower stratosphere affect us down below? How are we going to find out? We have the questions. Now we'll be searching for the answer. It's the first word from space before history is made. From landing a man on the moon to assembling the International Space Station, NASA's Johnson Space Center serves as the iconic beginning to some of the greatest moments in American history. Moments that are triumphs of engineering and international cooperation to create even more daring missions from the moon. Made possible with the Orion and Gateway programs, which are both orchestrated out of Johnson, the desolate moon will serve as NASA's jump-off point as we journey to unlock the secrets of the universe and understand how it all began. Today, we push forward to the moon. Tomorrow, we leap to greater heights and new destinations. There is history to be made. In Mission Control, we eagerly anticipate the first transmissions from unexplored worlds. Giant leaps start here.
We observed thousands and thousands of changes at the molecular and genetic level when Scott Kelly was in space. We observed changes in small molecules in the bloodstream, changes in how genes go up and go down, changes in how DNA was packaged, telomeres got longer, the microbiome in the gut changed, we saw stresses in the body, changes in his vision, and also we've been looking intensely at immune cells, which are notoriously adaptive, and so we know that these cells are expected to change.
This is the first time ever that we've studied a twin in spaceflight and one on the ground. So we have the same genetic background in both individuals and are now looking at how the environment changes things, in this case, spaceflight. The gene expression in Scott's white blood cells changed in flight. 7% of the gene expression persisted 6 months after his flight. So genes are not on or off, they're throttled, like your automobile engine. 7% of them were throttled in a different position even 6 months after flight.
7% of genes sounds like a lot, but it's important to remember that it's the genes just changing their expression going up and down. So Scott and Mark Kelly are still identical twins. They may have had changes in their chromosomes, so how DNA is packaged, but at the end of the day, they're still going to look like each other. They're definitely still twins. The really big question is, what about 3 years? Should we expect to see, basically 3 times the number of changes, 10 times the number of changes? Really, we don't know at this point, because this is the first study of its kind. This sets the bedrock of knowledge for all the future astronaut studies. The vision of the future would be, you look at the entire genetic code, all the molecular structures and changes in an individual, and then customize what he or she will need for long-term missions. So this could be physical changes to how they do exercise, and also even just how they take vitamins and how they even manage their microbiome. Really, every molecule is fair game for making sure it's customized.
This research helps us in exploration by understanding how the human body and mind responds to spaceflight. The space station is our stepping stone to further journeys to the moon and to Mars.
During my third EVA out there, I can remember we were working on the front of the space station. So I finished up that task, and then to catch my breath, I just kind of propped myself up on the front of the station looking forward, and it's just the Earth marked out in front of us, slowly gliding by, and I felt like, I was just riding the station through space. It's stuff you think about, see in the movies, but it's this overwhelming experience of I can't believe I'm here doing this, and that's going below me. That I get to see this. So I can distinctly remember waking up one morning, couldn't sleep for whatever reason. It's like 4 a.m. I was like, hey, we're in a night pass. I'm going to go down to the cupola. I'm going to drink my coffee and just stare at the stars. And there's just so many. And the longer you stare, the more you see. You start with just the big until you open up a little more. And when your eyes open up a little more, you see all these smaller little stars. And then once they open up enough, you can start to see all of this cloud of structure. And you realize that the depth of what's out there, I can only see the tip of the iceberg. So it definitely puts you in your place in terms of, how big am I? How big are we collectively as humanity sitting here on Earth? Being able to look at the Earth from that vantage point and simultaneously see myself as part of something so small and great cosmos, but also part of something so large as the Earth that's below me, made me realize at a deeper level that I may be one small individual that's part of humanity here on the ground, but I can still have an impact, and I can have a large impact and still be something very small. That balance of perspective has given me a sense of empowerment that I hope that everybody could share in terms of you can make a difference. The Earth is an amazing place. It is unique. When you look out into the depths of space, you realize just the vast ocean of darkness, and we're on this little island, and we're on it together, and we need to figure out how to work together for the benefit of everybody.
When we think of the women of NASA, we often think of the legends, like those who became the first American women to launch into space. But the list doesn't stop there. Thousands of us have been bold in our pursuit of knowledge, exploration, and discovery, both in the spotlight and behind the scenes. And every day, we're pushing the envelope further. In the past year alone, we conducted the first all-women, broke records for the longest single spaceflight by a woman, and added 6 women to our astronaut corps. Behind the scenes, we made other accomplishments, like piloting observatories, leading missions to places we've only dreamed of, and so much more. But this is just the beginning. Soon, we'll go even farther, directing launches, taking our first steps on the moon with the Artemis program, and making groundbreaking discoveries, inspiring the future explorers, scientists, and engineers who will take our first steps on Mars. During the first all-women spacewalk, that's something we should all keep in mind.
There's been a long line of female scientists, explorers, engineers, and astronauts, and we have followed in their footsteps to get us where we are today.
This March, we celebrate our past and look to our future, because at NASA, women are making history every day. Hawks' sense of hearing is excellent, and their eyesight the best in the entire animal world. Not only can they see greater distances than humans, but their visual acuity is 8 times that of ours. Yet we need to look even further, higher, deeper into the sky.
We live in the lowest layer of the atmosphere, which is the troposphere. The stratosphere is the next layer above us, so it's basically above altitudes of somewhere between 30 and 50,000 feet, there are processes that take place in space that have a very direct impact on us. So it's extremely important to understand the detailed process of water turning into clouds, those particles in clouds settling out. How does that detailed process occur? And then how will it change in the future?
What's been our big problem is getting the airplanes to the right place where they can make the measurements for long enough periods of time